If it blows up, it blows up. I don't care anymore. What up, all? Total Control 871. Hope you can hear me okay. Alright, tonight what we're doing is the court update. Long dreaded court update. Got a holes in my mouth, so bear with me. Okay, so in a few hours, it's like about 6 o'clock in the morning right now. I haven't been to sleep. Been up for about 24 hours. A lot of anxiety and depression. In a few hours, I will hopefully be receiving a phone call from, I forget the exact agency. It's some kind of a legal aid agency. From what was described to me, it sounds more like legal guidance. They did the usual, collect your social, name. I could tell it was a lot of paper trail building, so that of course they can always bill the state for all the help they've given you. Anyway, I don't think this agency will be able to help pay for any kind of transcript or filing fees. I'll speak with the young lady. I don't even know if she's a young lady. It's a lady that's going to be calling me, though. I don't know her age, though. So I'll talk with her. I got my my case material here. Both cases. So a couple weeks ago, I got notification from the appellate court that both Lane Control Saga and Lord of the Lies Robert Shepard, they've been dismissed from the appellate court. The appeals have been dismissed because well, I didn't have the money for the transcripts, and the Lord of the Lies case required a lot of it in addition. Although I don't think we had made it to the transcript portion of that appeal yet, although I doubt that would have been approved any better than the Lane Control Saga. Again, I'm sorry. A lot of depression, a lot of insomnia, a lot of anxiety. I am struggling, so please bear with me as I get through this update. With the Lord of the Lies Robert Shepard case, I was notified of all of this extra filing that frankly I just didn't understand. One of the things that I'm hoping the legal guidance people can help me with. I did call my case manager, Jill. She tried to explain to me. I just didn't understand. And then there was the money associated with this extra filing. This is, I'm going to show you. This is written out by a case manager. His name is Kevin. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. So Kevin wrote that out. It was for the Lord of the Lies Robert Shepard. Seemed like pretty much the standardized stuff from the Lane Control Saga. So of course I went to the library, and this time I was a bit more proficient. I had gone through the appellate kit already with Lane Control Saga. So with Lord of the Lies, Robert Shepard, I was much more proficient. I figured out how to utilize the computer to fill out my forms, making them much more neater, much more professional. And of course, I was indeed successful of getting one of the 3 tickets overturned in Superior Court. In Superior Court. But then I received notification of just all of this. It was almost as if things that I had submitted, not only for Lane Control Saga, but also for Lord of Lies Robert Shepard, but it's like they wanted motions for everything. Briefs, should I say. So if I wanted to put in a certification, so it's not just simply filing for indigency, but write a motion as to why you want the indigency. And if I'm certification of service, then there would have to be like a motion that goes along with it. It was a lot of stuff that that I didn't understand or understand how to do. A lot of stuff that was not required in Lane Control Saga. Of course, we saw how I was met with armed hostility when I went to file my indigency transcripts requests in Atlantic City at the Atlantic Council's office. Prior to my arrival there, I went to file my paperwork in Mays Landing at the prosecutor's office, and something was strange there that day. The regular receptionist was not at her desk. Normally when I go to file, they stamp it, and it's a pleasant enough, for fighting a case, pleasant enough experience. But this time they had detectives there. It was very strange. Detective Myers was there, and he had quite the edge to him. He takes the filing, and he's just basically leafing through it page by page. Looking back on the matter, I can't help but wonder, was I being stalled so that they could telephone the Atlantic County Councils and advise them that I'm on my way? That would seem to fit with how, as soon as I began walking down the corridor, entered the facility, walking down the corridor, their armed security began to converge on me, for what? Because, again, just like with the prosecutor's office, I had also served papers at the Atlantic County Council's prior, and that went pleasantly enough. But then all of a sudden, the second time around, I was met with armed hostility with an armed officer and denied access to serve my papers. They refused to utilize their stamp. It was very clear that they were obstructing the process of justice. I don't think Kevin failed to tell me all the things that I needed to file, because if that were the case, then I would have met all of this with Lane Control Saga. I have been making progress. I got a ticket overturned. I was getting too close to victory. And of course, the rules had to be changed. The rules of engagement had to be changed. And they conspired and colluded to do that, as they continued to conspire to orchestrate my forced suicide. Okay, so where are we at? So tomorrow I will be, or today, in a couple of hours, I will be speaking with the young woman to see what can be done. The ACLU has gone dark. They are not returning my phone calls. They have not mailed me anything. The way things are right now, both cases have been dismissed, and I don't know how to bring them back. I don't have the money. What comes in, the GoFundMe, comes in drips and drabs. No. Thank you to everybody that has donated. I understand. Not. Thank you for your donations. There was a $50 donation while the GoFundMe was calibrated for allowing you guys, whomever wanted to, pay the fine, and I said I would act as a courier. A $50 donation came in under that. The net payout was $48.25. I am a man of my word. I will indeed see to it that your money makes its way to the court. I have the phone number for the Ethics Committee, where I will be reporting Judge John Rosenberger. Violation, Fifth Amendment right. Refused to allow me to read my charge in court. Refused to allow me to cross-examine my witnesses on what the law has to say, the language of the law. You see, they'd be more than happy to allow me, especially a layman, to wax poetic or pontificate. You see, they would have been quite happy if I showed up at court with just a bunch of righteous indignation. But because I came armed with the law and what the law has to say, and how the law allows a cyclist to utilize the full lane under hazardous conditions. They didn't like this. Judge John Rosenberger didn't like this. In an illegal, draconian maneuver, he forbid me from speaking the law. He forbid me from reading my charges. He forbid me from cross-examining my witnesses on the language of said law. A police officer, a person who's supposed to know the law. Judge Michelle Verno, one of the 3 tickets that Lord of Lies Robert Shepard charged me with comes with suspension of driver's license and up to 15 days in jail, which thereby entitles me to a public defender. Judge Verno, at the beginning of the trial, separated me from my right to counsel, stating that she will not impose those fines, separating me from counsel. For you to make that determination, only logic can say that you have already found me guilty before the trial even began. Violation, Fifth Amendment. And of course, Robert Shepard's testimony rife with easily provable lies. Just rife with it. cyclist went perpendicular, marauding across the road when clearly right angle turns were made. What appears to be legal right angle turns and legal lane changes. Every day I wake up with this depression, and I am very tired of waking up with this depression. I have no more money to fight, I have no more resources to fight, and therefore I am quickly coming to the end of my fight. I will procure the syringes, I will procure the drugs, I will prepare to bring an end to this suffering. I feel like I have to keep apologizing. It is a forced suicide. I do not want to die. I want to live, but I refuse to live with any more rape, sexual assault, unlawful incarceration. This is what life has done to me, just because I'm poor. I can't afford your vehicles, and I am being punished because I found an alternative way to live without your vehicles, to live without your mortgage. I'm trying to how I can describe how I'm feeling. There are moments when I'm almost looking forward to the end, because I know I won't have this suffering anymore. It will be over. But it is a vicious, vicious price tag attached to it. I won't have my beloved bike, my Black Rider, anymore. I won't have happiness. I don't have happiness now. I don't have happiness now. This is not a product of mental illness. This is not idiopathic. This is highly quantifiable. I was a content middle-aged man, living my life while gainfully employed. When that employment was unlawfully removed from me, my last employer, Admiral Security, forbidding me to return to work with the prosthetic leg brace that I need. No employer will have me with the disability accommodations that I need. I cannot return to the class of living that I once had, which is why I am now living in this tent. It is why I have abandoned any hopes of automotive ownership or home ownership, including an apartment. I have come to terms with the fact that I will never ever attain that level of financial stability. I have abandoned that portion of society, and I am now being targeted and punished by a corrupt police department for having abandoned their primary source of money, writing tickets, even when it's unlawful, even when the law says I have the right to take the lane. Every day, the sun rises, and I am sad to meet it. Every day this case is there, and I am tired of being there. There's a lot about this world that I'll miss, But I'm tired of being a victim. I'm tired of people just treating me like a rag doll in their mouth. You saw what happened today. Walmart doesn't give a shit. If it blows up, it blows up. So what? Keep your ridiculous condolences. Keep your stupid suicide prevention emails, please. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing anybody can do. You had your opportunity. You could have donated, not that you owe me, but you could have done something that actually helped, assuming you had it to give. This is what I'm left with now. I only have a couple of cards left in my hand. I'm glad my sister has a brother. Total Control 871.